then we're going to go live here in our group. All right, here we go. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining our Rise and Grind Mastermind. And today we have a special treat coming all the way from sunny San Diego. And I don't know if anyone has ever used their Alexa, but the question is, has anyone ever asked about a real estate agent on Alexa? So we're going to soon find out. So I wanted to welcome, Justin Lundy from San Diego, and he owns Lundy.io, and he's going to tell us all about how to utilize voice as a real estate agent, and it's a really underutilized medium right now. So once again, Justin Lundy, take her away.
Awesome. Thank you, Lee. And can I share my screen? I've got a few slides.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Good morning, everybody. And, Lee touched on it. It's voice in the real estate space is really underutilized right now, which is pretty typical for the real estate space, I think. While voice is hitting its stride, and I'll share some pretty staggering stats here on the topic. Real estate, there really is nowhere where you could say, Siri or Alexa or Google, what's my neighbor's house for sale for right now? There's no database that you can access by voice. And so that is something that we're working on, and I'll kind of walk you guys through it right now. But first, has anybody here, because voice has been around for a while, but has anybody here put together like a flash briefing or their own, built their own Alexa skill? I know for a while there, they were pretty big. Did anybody take advantage of that back a couple years ago? Anybody? Everybody's shaking their head no. It kind of got big for a minute, but the problem was with those flash briefings and building your own skills is that consumers aren't used to going to their device to find information about real estate. So they're not going to their device to find information about realtors either. And so what we're trying to do is kind of get to them in a bit of a different way. And I started working on this as a realtor here in San Diego. And what I was trying to solve initially, my team was a big listing heavy team, and we had about 50 listings at any given time. And we were noticing that there was a lot of information getting dropped through the cracks as buyer's agents that knew nothing about our listing other than what was available on the MLS would show our property. We try to get a hold of them for feedback. And by the time we get a hold of them, they were like, I don't remember that property. And we were like, it was today, you were there today. And they were like, yeah, but we saw 10 listings. If I didn't write an offer, we weren't interested. And this was a couple years ago. This wasn't today's market where every home flies off the shelf. So we actually had to sell the houses that we were listing. So what I initially started building Alexa skills for was as an information hub. So I would work with the homeowners before we list a property to get any additional information that they wanted to share with buyers, like, when the last time the roof or the plumbing or anything like that was remodeled, or, what there is to do in their community, if any restaurants were within walking distance, just anything at all. That they wanted, if they could be there to talk to the buyers, what would they share? And then I would build those into an Alexa skill. And then I'd leave a device and a display, much like this one, with instructions for buyers. I'd leave it right there in the kitchen so that when they'd walk into our listings, they could walk up to Alexa and say, hey, Alexa, what school district is this home in? Or how old is the roof? And get accurate answers right then and there. So that was kind of my introduction to voice. And I started building that. It worked amazing for our own team. We kind of kept it tight for a couple of years until enough agents here locally finally were like, hey, where did you get this thing? My seller saw it when we were out looking for homes to buy, and they want me to use it. So where do I get it? And so that's when I decided to make it a platform for agents. It is available today, and actually I'll give anybody on this call access to it for free. Later, I'll collect anybody's email that wants a membership to that platform. So that's where it all started. But the more I dug into this voice space, the more I realized how underutilized it is for realtors and just the real estate space and for consumers. So let me get some of these windows out of the way and I'll get to this presentation here. So, while it's underutilized for real estate, voice in general is booming. I know everybody, I mean, stats say 1 in every 4 people on this call has an Alexa device in their home. But how many of you guys use it daily for checking the weather or, playing music while you're getting ready? I use it, my wife and I both use it for our grocery list because it syncs to your phone and you got the list on your phone and you can check off groceries as you purchase them. So it's like a great way to just stay in touch there. But if you look at some of these other stats, 122 million Americans will be using voice searches. Obviously, that's not just Alexa devices. That's your Siri, that's your Google. But that's a lot. That's most adults, if not more. And this other stat here, voice search has already had over $2 billion worth of sales. I'm responsible for some of those. I have my things that I like from Amazon. And now that I purchased them, I can say, Alexa, I'm out of toothpaste, give me some more. And she'll throw it right in my shopping cart and send it to my house. 58% of consumers use voice search to find a local business online. This is big for everybody except realtors, right? Because they all understand and they're building these, they're optimizing for search by voice and it's working out well. So why is everybody doing this? 82% of voice searchers find that it's fast and accurate replies are the priority when using voice assistants. So when you ask something like Alexa, when you ask a question to Alexa, she can't send you a link. She's an audio device. So she has to actually give you the answer, which is a lot faster than if you ask your phone the same question. Siri will just send you a link to something. So 71% of consumers would rather use a voice search to hunt for something online than texting it or typing it in. It's just faster. I do the same thing with text messaging. If it's more than a yes or no or okay, I'm hitting the microphone and I'm talking the entire text out. And then this last stat is really big because it shows just how important consumers find their devices to be. 52% of people keep it in their living room, whether it's the Alexa device or the Google Home or the Apple AirPod. And then the other remaining 48% is either in their master bedroom or in their kitchen. While you're cooking, you're getting recipes, or while you're getting ready for work, you're listening to music. But there are places where the consumers are. And so, it's just proof that these are important. So this is backwards, that's weird. So I'm gonna go a little sideways with the next stats, because as I started building this, one thing I realized was that by building information into these voice devices, we're actually serving a community that's been overlooked since the internet was invented, right? And it's the visually impaired and blind community. So these voice stats, it might not mean a lot to you guys, or some of you, maybe it does to others. It touches home to me. My mother's blind. And for them, and there's a lot of them. There's about 1 million that are completely blind, but as the baby boomers age, their vision is going. And there's 93 million adults that are high risk for serious vision loss. These stats I'll leave up here for you to read. But one thing that I want to touch on here is that any of you with your own property websites, if you haven't been sued yet for not being ADA compliant, it's only because it's not your turn. There's a number of, and they're frivolous. These lawsuits, they don't hold much ground, but the problem is any attorney can send you a letter that says, I've got a client that's blind, they can't access your real estate data. We'll see you in court, or you can settle now for 20 grand. And agents all over the country are settling because obviously you don't want the PR of going to court against some blind person, and would you even win that? And so it's a very expensive lesson that they're learning. But in working with the blind community, as I built what we're building next, you know, what we realized and understood is that even ADA compliant websites are extremely frustrating to navigate, and the data just doesn't come through correctly. So it's really hard for consumers or blind consumers or visually impaired consumers to dissect the information. So we met this lady when we were working on building our search engine. Her name is Debbie. She's completely blind. She is retired now, so she had a very successful career with the government. So she's got the computer with the JAWS screen reader. She's got the Braille keyboard, every piece of assistive technology that's available. And she won't even look at a property website, including, you know, Zillow and Realtor.com and the ones that everybody kind of filters through, because it's so frustrating. So she's currently trying to buy a home. The process for her, and she's done this several times, but her realtor will send any new listings to her sister, who will then copy and paste all the information from that website into a Google Doc and then share it with Debbie. And if her screen reader still can't make sense of it, her friend will drive over and read her the listing description out loud for her to consider one home. So that's 3 different people. I know some of you are thinking, why doesn't the realtor just call her and read it out loud? That's probably a solution, but it's still her relying on somebody else and not having the independence to shop for a home like the rest of us do. It's like shopping for homes without the internet. So in working with her and several other people in the blind community, we built this next piece of what we're working on that I want to share with you, to be an accessibility tool that is going to make home shopping for the rest of us super amazing. And so, sorry, I keep forgetting this thing's inverted. So what we did when we discovered that is we started going to MLSs themselves and approaching them with this issue and, you know, of data being inaccessible, and our solution, which is we take everything that I learned when building these voice skills for each of my individual listings, and we're building instead a giant database for a nationwide property search engine. So we partner with these MLSs. We take all of your listings, syndicate them to voice. We run them through what's called natural language processing. So that takes all of these chunky fields like, you know, bedrooms 4, bathrooms 3, and we put them all together, run them through this natural language processing and deliver it in this complete informative sentence. So it's as if you're talking to somebody, or if you're blind, you're able to completely shop by voice, as if you were, you know, talking to somebody in your home. So that's something that we're working on currently. With the MLSs that we're partnered with, we have 1 live right now. It's in Park City, Utah. We've got 3 more major ones that I can't say which ones they are yet because they're not finished being built. None of them are in the Midwest, unfortunately, yet, but we're working on it. But when we partner with that MLS, this becomes a member benefit tool. One of the benefits, obviously, is that the data becomes accessible, right? Anybody with an Alexa device or the free mobile app can then, you know, talk to their phone or their device and get access to all of your listings. What it does for the members of that MLS is obviously it reduces your exposure to these ADA lawsuits, because now your website has a disclaimer on it that says the contents of this website are accessible by voice, which removes you from those low-hanging branches that these attorneys are going after. So it's really exciting, and I can show you a demo of how it works here when we're finished. But that is, again, you know, available to the MLSs that we've gotten to. We're on a mission to get to all of them, and so we will continue working on that. So with that, what we're trying to do is build this nationwide property search portal. We don't want any gaps, so we want to be able, as a consumer, we want you to be able to say, you know, Alexa, tell me about any homes for sale in my neighborhood, and be delivered that data accurately and right then and there. But when we do partner with an MLS, and I know there are agents from across the country on this, I don't know where everybody's from, but once we do upload your MLS, these are some of the benefits that will come with that as your agent or your member benefit. So consumers will be able to search by either a specific property address, or they can set a search by characteristic, much like you do with any of your buyers out there, right? So if they choose to search by characteristic, it's just a simple dialogue between them and their Alexa device. And it's, you know, what zip code do you want to live in? What's your price point, bedrooms, bathroom, etc. And then the device will right then deliver a list of homes currently available that match that criteria. But then the consumer can save that search by voice just by saying save search. And the minute, because we ping MLSs once a minute, so the minute a new listing comes up that matches their search criteria, the consumer is notified on their Alexa device. Hey, there's a new listing that matches your criteria. Would you like to hear about it? And then they're delivered that data right then and there. One of the things that is really exciting that we're still building, obviously, is giving the agents the ability to push information to consumers. If you remember that stat that said where the devices are located in the house, we're talking about living rooms, bathrooms, and kitchens, right? So imagine you've got a new listing up and you're having an open house that weekend. Instead of door knocking the neighborhood, you could push notify anybody in that community or in that zip code a notification that says, 123 Main Street's hosting an open house from 1 to 4 o'clock today, but there's a secret neighbors only from 12 to 1, and just push that notification out to the neighborhood. Imagine how great that'd be. And it just shows that you as an agent are, very forward thinking and working on what's next. Okay, and so the agent platform that we built that is available now, like I said, if anybody wants access to this, the way this works, and anybody that wants this, just put your email in the chat, or Lee, can you, put your email in the chat, and then I'll take those emails down and set everybody up a profile. But when I email you guys your access to this account, there'll be a link in there to my calendar, so we can do like a quick demo on how it all works. But a brief overview, this isn't every field available in the MLS. This is the public data that's available. So any bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, your built, those kinds of things that people could find in public data. And then the way this tool works is you can go through with your homeowner and select from about 30 different questions about the home, about upgrades, about miscellaneous things like short-term or long-term income, who the architect was, things to do in the community, things to do around the holidays. You select which questions you want Alexa to be able to give information about, and then you can either answer it yourself, or you can send the homeowner their own link, and they can fill out in their own words what they'd like Alexa to then pass on to the buyers. And so that, again, if you guys are interested in, if anybody's interested in their own membership, I can just set that up for free. Just let me know who wants one.
And then anyone that's watching the live, they can just put their email in the comments, and we'll make sure that we get it to everyone as well.
Yeah, that'd be great. So that's kind of it for my presentation. I think I was nervous, so I was talking fast. So anybody have any questions on any of that stuff so far?
I'd like to just see it working. Is that something you can do?
Totally.
Yeah. Demo it for us? Like, I think that would be really cool.
So this, I could show you the live feed that's pulling right out of Park City right now.
Okay.
I'll show you the search feature, and then I'll go ahead and launch a property. So you can hear how she delivers the data, kind of how we made it simple for consumers to understand both, a lot about the property, but also what they can ask, and so they don't get lost or stuck. So give me 1 second. Let me just turn this thing up. Okay. Alexa, start finding homes.
Let's begin your home search. If you know the property address already, say it now. Be sure to include the city and state. Otherwise, say start a search.
Start a search.
Okay, what city or zip code would you like to search in?
Park City.
What's your maximum price?
$2 million.
What is the minimum number of bedrooms you need?
5.
And what is the minimum number of bathrooms you need?
4.
Okay, great. That gives us 4 properties. Starting with the most recently listed, you have 5956 Fairview Drive, Park City, Utah 84098. Built in 2000, this is a detached single-family home measuring 4,299 square feet, with 6 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. Featuring views of mountains, trees or woods, and a ski area, this home is listed at $1,650,000. Say yes to hear more about this property, or next to hear the next one.
Yes.
Welcome to 5956 Fairview Drive, Park City, Utah 84098. 5956 Fairview Drive is your opportunity to live in a beautiful 6-bedroom and 4 full bathroom home. What can I tell you about this home? You can choose from the following options: property overview, area and community, or HOA.
Area and community.
The school district is Park City. This home is located in Snyderville Basin in the Silver Summit subdivision. Access to this home is year-round. This property has access to recreational activities like a hiking or biking trail adjoining the neighborhood. What else can I tell you about this home? You can choose from the following options: property overview, HOA, or parking.
What kind of floors are in this home?
The flooring in this home consists of carpet, tile, and wood. What else can I tell you about this home? You can choose from the following options: property overview, HOA, or parking.
What appliances come with this home?
This home comes with a washer, gas dryer, a dishwasher, a disposal, a gas range, a microwave, an oven, and a refrigerator. What else can I tell you about this home? You can choose from the following options:
Alexa.
property
Off.
Bye for now.
So, yeah, that's kind of how that works. Any questions on any of that? So I could have continued to ask what groups she was offering, and then as I ask a group, she won't offer that anymore. And then anything that you would ask about a house, you can throw out there. If it's an available field in that MLS, she'll pull that data, run it through the NLP, and then deliver it in those complete sentences instead of kind of how that data is usually delivered.
Can you take it all the way to setting up a showing for the property?
Sorry?
Can you take it all the way to setting up an actual showing?
Like with the agent platform, you mean? Or
correct.
Okay. Do you guys want to just get a demo? I guess we have a bunch of time, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let me pull up that website real quick.
So for us in Metro Detroit market where we are, since you're not a part of the MLS yet, the features that we can use is actually just providing details about the specific property and having them ask Alexa directly while they're there, correct?
It is while they're there, but it's also from any device. So if you guys, and I'll show you in this, let me share my screen again. But we do have a way for you, when you build a property on this, our backend produces a media kit. So you'll have ways on social media and actually as one of your listing photos to upload one of the images we provide, so that consumers that are looking at this property know that they can access more data from their device. So I'll run you through that. So if the consumer's at home, they can actually ask their own Alexa about your listing, which is cool, because if they do have additional questions about that listing, or they want to schedule a showing, Alexa will put them in contact with the listing agent through email. So this is our dashboard for the agent platform that I'll give you guys access to. So building an assistant is really easy. You just come in, you'll see these additional assistants that are available here. I'm going to use just this address because I don't have a listing on the top of my head. But you hit create assistant there. You come in, you enter the property address, and then our backend will, let's see, you just confirm. Our backend will typically find any of the public data that is available. However, public data is not always that accurate. So the first step is to actually verify that information and confirm that it's correct. So for this listing here, you see it found it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, these are the square footage, the lot size, year built. So that's it for public data that we provide. This is also the area where you'll add the assigned schools for that property. Again, I don't know what this listing is. I'm not going to add them, but this is where you'll do it. You can do it by the school name, whether it's the elementary, middle, or high, and then assign private or charter school. We're continuing to add features to that. So if we're missing like a school type, let me know, and we're continuing to update it. So once all that looks good, you go to next. If any of it needs to change, you just hit edit, modify it, and it's good to go. So then next step, proceed anyway. So the next step is to select what questions you want Alexa to be able to answer for buyers. Again, there's about 30 questions in here, and they are by category. So you've got this community and neighborhood, tell me about the neighborhood. What is there to do? Are there any fun events? Like in mine, we just did a fall festival where there's chili cook-off and, bounce houses and face painting. It was super fun for all the kids. So, things like that are things I would love to pass along to buyers, but there's nowhere that fits into the MLS. And as the homeowner, I'm not allowed to be here when buyers are coming through. So these are all things that I would want to pass on, walkability, holiday events, things like that. The home, tell me about this house. What are the countertops? What are the floors? Things that people always ask. And then their agent's like, could be granite, could be something else, could be real wood, could be vinyl. It's like hard to know, and you don't want them guessing. So you just come in, you select which questions you want to go ahead and answer by just checking on them. You can go room by room by room. Who's the architect for this home? This whole section's kind of cool. Short and long-term rental income. Can I build out? Are there height restrictions? And then utilities are another good one. You can select all 35 questions, but there is a minimum of 2 that you have to select. And then you go to the next step, which would be to answer all of these questions. So again, this is a collaborative tool. If you, as the agent, collect these answers in your listing presentation, and just to back up and talk about that for a second, there's no reason, like in this market, nobody needs tools to sell houses. I know that. However, to get the listings, when you offer this to the homeowners as a way to kind of voice what's special and unique about their home, it's a great differentiator. So it's, nobody's given them the option to share any of that stuff in this kind of way. So if they do want to participate, you can either collect the answers there when you get the listing signed, or you can copy this link and text it or email it to them. And when they click on the link, they don't need a password or anything. They're taken to a screen that looks just like this. If you've started answering questions, they'll be able to see on their screen that you've answered it. And the same for them. When they start answering these questions, you'll be able to see what they've answered. They can go through, answer everything, and then just to put your mind at ease, the final copy that gets approved is up to the agent. So if the homeowner's, you know, giving you some answers that make you a little nervous, don't worry, you have the final editing power. Just because, you know, people don't know how restrictive fair housing is, and some of the things are, you wouldn't know that it was wrong to say. I don't want to take your time answering all these. Let me just kind of do some of this so I can run through it and show you how to publish it after this. So you go through, again, answer these correctly. There is a character minimum so that you're not giving one-word answers. We want complete sentences because Alexa is going to say exactly what you've typed. And you know, when you ask a question like, what kind of flooring are these? And she says, wood. What else do you want to know? It just doesn't flow great for the consumer. So, you know, these are wood floors, something like that works great. Again, I'm not trying to take up your time answering all these, so I'm just going to go through these and do a quick little thing so I can show you the next step. So once they finally look good and you're happy with the answers, the homeowner's happy with the answers, you just come down here to finish and then publish my Alexa skill. Once you confirm, you hit publish now, that property is now available on every Alexa device in the country. So the next step is obviously get the word out. There are some instructions that you'll get in your email. If you hit this button here, setup instructions, it gives you a detailed outline of what you need to bring to your listing to set this all up so it looks good, consumers can see it. You'll need, you know, to bring a few things like a frame. You'll need to print the display so that they know how to launch the skill and what questions are available. You'll need your Alexa device. You'll need the homeowner's Wi-Fi password. If they're not comfortable with that, they can build you a guest password. And then the media kit is in here. So you would download this. There are two options here. There's a Wi-Fi kit and a no Wi-Fi kit. The Alexa device itself needs Wi-Fi. So vacant homes typically don't have Wi-Fi. It's totally fine. It's just a different flyer that you're going to display. The no Wi-Fi flyer just has an image of a phone with the Alexa app open because it works the exact same way. Almost a little better. You can hang that flyer around the listing. And as consumers are walking around, they can be asking their phone about different parts of the home and getting that information. So you download this kit. I'll open one up so you guys can see what's in it. It includes a social media picture, which is a JPEG. It is sized for Instagram, but you can use them on any of your socials. I'm just downloading this kit real quick. Oh, sorry, my daughter's crying. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing this and share this social media kit. Oops. See if that's it.
That
Okay.
crying sounds like one of my agents that just lost a big deal the other day.
Oh, my wife's grabbing her. So this is what will get printed and displayed next to your device in your listing. This is the wake word or the launch phrase for sorry, that's distracting. All right, so this is how a consumer launches this skill. This is a different skill than what we're pulling out of the MLS. Obviously, they're not all, they're going to be two different things until MLSs adopt this higher. And then I'll just overlay these answers on top of your listing once MLSs adopt this. So they scan, the consumer walks in, they scan this QR code, which everybody knows how to do now. And on their phone, it's got all of the questions that you've answered with the homeowner, so they know what to ask the Alexa device. The other thing that's cool about this is when they get home and they're going through all the homes they've been through that day, they can actually pull this up again on their phone and ask any follow-up questions to their device if they have an Alexa device at home. So that's what you're going to display at the listing. Let's see if I can switch through these. Let's see. It's the media kit. Okay, so this is the Instagram, or wait, let me see. This is actually your MLS image that you're going to upload as one of your listing photos, so that this will then syndicate to all the third-party sites where consumers are finding your listings. So they'll be flipping through the photos and they'll see this, and then they'll know we can, talk to our own device and get additional information about this home. Gives them all the instructions that they need. And then this is for, let's see, am I sharing this still? Yes, so this is for Instagram. So you guys can post this with your coming soon or just listed images. And then this is another one for Instagram that's just doesn't have the QR code. Okay, so that's that. Do you guys have any questions on all that? Sorry, I was not planning on presenting that, so I'm kind of just doing a data dump. Anybody have questions on that platform?
No, but I think it's really cool. I mean, I heard of something like this a long time ago, probably when I first started in real estate a couple of years ago, where they were talking about, like Alexa's through the house, where you could click on it and it would take you on a tour. So I think it's a super cool idea.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, so anybody that wants access to that, that's the platform I was referring to. Again, I'll put a link in the email I send everybody that's interested, so that you guys can get a more detailed demo. It'll just be a link to my calendar, so we can set up something for like 15, 20 minutes. And, but yeah, I guess we got a little more time. If anybody has questions on any of that, I'm happy to answer.
What's the typical realtor response when they see that there's the Alexa photo in the MLS photos? I'm sure that would probably be impressive to the other agents, and they would want to know more right away when they see that.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag. So you've got the older agents that are like not into it, and then you've got and not to say like older agents aren't into it, because a lot of our first users were agents that were just looking for tools to stay relevant, and so those were the older agents. But there are some that hate it. Some think that it's like replacing the buyer's agent, and that's definitely not the case, because it has nothing to do with representing the buyer and their interests. But yeah, it's gotten some really great feedback, more from consumers than agents. Have you guys heard of a company called Cleared? Yeah, so you as a consumer, you can get it's like a background check, right? And then you get access to any listings that have the cleared lock instead of a Sentry lock or lockbox. And you can start touring homes without agents.
Oh, not that clear.
What's that?
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, so that's a thing. They've gone through NAR's incubator. So they're approved by NAR, and they're coming out hot. I know Redfin is partnering with ADT to do something similar. And then here locally in San Diego, there's another startup that's partnering with Sandycore MLS that is developing their own background checking system. And it works with any Sentry lock to where the buyer gets their own lockbox card. And once they've been cleared, and can go access homes without a buyer's agent. And that's great. Like if you're a buyer's agent on vacation and you're like, they got to see it now, right? So, and you don't have another solution. But what I'm getting at is if you're a listing agent and you've got unrepresented buyers going through all your listings, which will be a thing eventually, it'd be great to be able to provide them with some information, some accurate information.
I feel like that could like do away with buyer's agents at some point though, go back to the way it used to be when there weren't any, if anybody do background check and they can just go, good grief.
Well, and Zillow, here locally, I know they're different in each market, but they were buying a lot of homes here before they stopped. But when they relist those, they put their own entry lock on. So that self-service model is something they're pushing really hard. And so just having like that information hub. And again, I find buyer's agents extremely important when it comes to being an escrow and representing, the buyer themselves. But finding homes is not really hard anymore. So it's not, I wouldn't say that's part of the job. But yeah, going a little sideways. So any other questions on anything we talked about today?
So it's easy. So go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, how do I guess I can go through and copy all these emails.
We already did. So we already got that. I got a list and I will send them all to you. I got about a half dozen from the live as well. So I will make sure I get all that to you right away.
Okay, that's great. Very good.
So typically, let me ask you a question. So typically when you're sitting with your client, so that's when you're, doing the listing is when you ask all these questions, correct?
Yeah, so I present this during my part of the listing presentation where I start talking about my marketing. I introduce this tool, and you'll know right away if they're interested in it. And I introduce it as a way for them to kind of tell their, buyers send love letters. This is kind of a love letter from the homeowner, right? This is a way for them to share everything that's important and meaningful about their home and community. And if they're interested, they'll let you know right then and there. They'll have some kind of reaction. Other agents go like really deep into presenting this. We have one agent that he brings his own device and hotspot, and he'll pull it up. He'll actually do it. He'll jump into the platform before the listing appointment. He'll use the homeowner's name and property address to build a skill for that listing that he's going to. And then he'll ask his Alexa device, about their home. And it'll be some like, a fun fact about this property is whatever buyer buys this will have the honor of owning Mr. and Mrs. Smith's future or prior residence. Sorry about that. But I don't do that. It's too involved. And when you're doing live demos, too many things can go wrong. It is easy to demo it on the Alexa app on your phone if you guys want to just show them kind of how it works. But yeah, if you want to, instead of burdening them with filling this out on their own, you can have a list of these questions kind of there with you in your listing presentation. Ask them about it. What are you going to miss most about this community? Everybody's always got a great answer for that. Just write it down. Same thing about the home. Go through the upgrades, anything like that. Write it down.
So tell me about the, if I want to, I know you're going to give us a demo, but if I wanted to buy the product, how could I go about doing that?
There on the website, there's actually, we're not selling it anymore. So because we're focusing on capturing these MLSs, this is just a tool that anybody can go sign up for and use. So I'm not giving you a demo. I'm giving you guys full access, unlimited listing.
That's awesome.
To use as long as you want.
That's awesome. A great presentation without a sales pitch. There's nothing better than that at the end,
Yeah, I didn't know what to sell, sorry.
Only for $199.99, but if you sign up today, no, this is awesome. I love, I think that it's definitely a niche product, but I do think that if it's used properly, it can help you, like, number one, secure listings that you might not get otherwise. And number two, I'm always like a jokester. I think that you could actually make it funny, and when you get consumers or potential homeowners to looking through a house and asking Alexa, having to go off, just a little bit of humor could really probably make it people like really enjoy and
totally.
I just think that there's something there. I still need to put my arms around it.
One of my first listings, we had a homeowner that was like really funny. And so we were able to change the introduction to be when a consumer would come in and say, Alexa, launch neighborhood info. She would say, oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. Let me put my pants on real quick. And then go into the grief. It was like, it was funny. But yeah, you can have her be, you know, like beef Wellington if you want to.
No, that might be a little bit over the top.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, cool.
That's awesome. So what is the web address?
The website is getlundy.io. I can put it here in the chat. There's an option to log in, and once I get those email addresses, I'll build everybody's subscription out and send each individual agent how to log in and all that information, and then they'll be able to get in and access the dashboard. I'm sure there will be questions. There is a chat bot on the website. That chat comes straight to me and my team. So if you have any quick questions, go ahead and jump on there and they'll get answered right away.
That's awesome. Hey, Justin, you should talk. Have you talked to the guys at EXP? Because I know they're trying to build a national MLS platform.
You know, I met Glenn a couple years ago. Before COVID, they were doing something locally, like a happy hour. And it was brief. He was kind of excited about it, but and then the world kind of flipped upside down. But I didn't know they were building a search engine. I think that would be cool though. How are they trying to partner with every MLS or?
Well, I think that they're doing it themselves.
Wow.
I think they're creating their own feeds, so that might be something. Get with Randy. Randy's over at Inman right now, so you should get with Randy and hook up with him. But we'll talk about this after. But anyways, yeah. So this is a great. I would love to have this available for all of our agents, and I think that it's a really cool product, and I think that I can definitely see the benefit.
Cool. Well, I appreciate it. I worked hard on it, so it's good to hear. Oh yeah, I should have told everybody to mute their Alexa devices. Sorry about that. Somebody's going off. Cool. Funny. Well, I look forward to talking to all of you guys. I'll build anybody's profile that requested it, and again, there will be a link to my calendar. So I'd love to meet anybody that needs it, and yeah, I really appreciate you guys having me.
Justin, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And we'll definitely talk soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.